In today's China, a surprising and sad trend is taking shape. Some single women are now offering money, not to receive a dowry but to give it to a man in hopes of getting married. Is there any guy who can accept this girl's situation? She will bring a dowry of 50,000 yuan, and they can get married by the end of the year. She was born in 1991. Her looks are average but her family is quite well off. She grew up with the children of her father's friends. She even dated one of them for 3 years. They were planning to get married, but during the premarital health check, it was found that she might have difficulty getting pregnant. Once the boy's family found out, they backed out and the relationship fell apart. The girl was emotionally hurt by it. Since then she hasn't dated anyone else. But her parents have continued trying to introduce her to potential matches. Many people, after hearing about her situation, rejected her. But honestly, her condition doesn't necessarily mean she can't get pregnant, right? Also, her parents said that as long as the guy doesn't mind her condition, is ambitious, genuinely likes her and is willing to marry her, they will give a dowry of 50,000 yuan at the wedding. So I want to ask, is there any guy who can accept this girl's situation? Usually the man gives money or property to the woman's family. Now the desperation has become so deep that many women are willing to pay just to find a husband. This is my older sister. The two of us raised bees together in the mountains. We're just ordinary rural beekeeping girls, but this year we're both over 30. Brothers, be careful these days. Leftover women, older unmarried women, have now reached their peak desperation. If you recently meet a woman who is extremely gentle, obedient, and even eager and in a rush to marry you, hold your ground. Stay clear-headed. Don't think you've suddenly gotten lucky in love. Let me be clear with you, that's not love, that's a pile of debt. Got it? My daughter and I have had a very hard life. I have to both earn money to support the family and take care of the child. Her father always comes home angry whenever he loses money and never treats us kindly. This child has had a tough life and hasn't had many good days growing up with me. Now that my daughter is grown, I want her to leave this toxic home. We don't want any bride price. What matters is that her future in-laws truly accept her and treat her with love. Uncle and auntie, I'm hardworking and not afraid of hardship. If I come to your home, I will be a good daughter-in-law and wife. Would your family be willing to accept me? Many educated women with stable jobs, and have own homes in big cities like Shanghai or Beijing. But they face one big problem. They are single and over 30. In Chinese society, women over a certain age, often 27, are labeled as leftover women. Do you think premarital health checkups are necessary? Premarital checkups? Of course they're necessary. If you don't check, how will you know if the other person truly loves you or just truly has a disease? What if after getting married you suddenly find out they have hepatitis B, syphilis or HIV? The full package. By then they've already been calling your dad, and then you find out? Then you start crying? It's too late. And the Civil Affairs Bureau doesn't do after-sales service. These days love can be blind, but when it comes to marriage, use your brain. I'm 32 years old and still not married. I often ask myself, what will I do if I grow old alone? Honestly, I never really thought about this before. I always believed I had plenty of time, that I would definitely meet someone I truly love. But as time slowly passes and I get older, I've suddenly realized that sometimes I'm really scared of being alone. Some people say that once you reach this age there's no more love. I don't think it's that love doesn't exist. It's just that it becomes very hard to find love again. When you're in your 30s, everyone has already lived almost half a lifetime. Everyone has their own stubbornness and regrets. It's hard to settle or to lower your standards. You end up trapped in your own world, crying alone. I'm really afraid of growing old by myself. But I'm even more afraid of growing old with someone I don't love. A girl asked me to help her find someone. She said she's willing to marry far away, doesn't want a house or a car and doesn't even want a bride price. Her family is even willing to give a car as part of her dowry. She runs her own shop now, can endure hardship and just wants to find a guy who doesn't mind her age. As long as he's hardworking and down to earth, that's enough. She says, I won't ask for a dowry and you don't need to pay a bride price or even hold a wedding. Let's save that money and give it to your parents for their retirement. How about giving them 2,000 yuan a month? Uncle, auntie, do you agree with her idea? From a biological point of view, A man should marry a woman 15 years younger than him, because a woman's biological cycle is from 7 to 49, meaning she typically reaches menopause around 49. A man's biological cycle is from 8 to 64, meaning it ends around 64. So, a 49-year-old woman and a 64-year-old man are the most compatible. That means a 20-year-old woman would be most compatible with a 35-year-old man. Now I'm 33, so theoretically I should be most compatible with a 48-year-old man. Then doesn't that mean I could find a 48-year-old man who, like me, has never married or had kids? Let me tell you something, all the matchmakers in Beijing know this one thing. In the dating market there's a strange phenomenon. There are beautiful women, rich people, white-collar workers and second-generation wealthy folks. But the one thing that's missing? Handsome men. Being handsome is a much more powerful advantage than owning a house or a car. For example, in Beijing, having a house and a car is just the basic entry requirement for a man to join the dating scene. If a guy doesn't have a place to settle down, he can only stand outside and watch. But if a guy is handsome, that alone almost guarantees that even before he officially enters the dating market, women will already be fighting over him. He never even makes it to the matchmaking pool. Very few matchmakers talk about this publicly online, because this reality is discouraging for people who are still trying to work hard and improve their lives, especially the small-town test-taking warriors. You don't feel how real this is simply because you're not handsome enough. Most guys never get to see how women actively try to impress and win over a good-looking man. At matchmaking events, women will always say things like, "Oh, I don't care about looks." But if you really introduce them to someone unattractive, they'll immediately say, "There's no chemistry." When a woman asks for a high bride price, what's the hidden message? Let me tell you, asking for a high bride price usually means she doesn't like you enough. Why? Because someone who truly wants to build a life with you wouldn't set an insanely high barrier to make things difficult. She wouldn't treat marriage like a business deal. Asking for a high bride price is basically screening for target customers. Only those who can afford it get considered. And after marriage, don't expect a peaceful life. She'll keep picking on you. Why? Because from the start she already planned her escape route, that expensive bride price. It's her divorce fund. Think about it. If your mother-in-law truly cared about you, would she really watch you drain your family's savings? If she really loved you, would she be willing to make things so hard for you? No, she wouldn't. So behind sky-high bride prices, it's often not love that's hidden. It's calculation and a lack of true affection. Understand now? It may not sound nice, but it's the hard truth. In China today, the situation for many single women is becoming very hard. There are more and more women who are unmarried, especially those who are in their 30s and older. In the past, people believed that women should be married before the age of 28. After that age, they are often called leftover women, a term that hurts and shames them. Many of these women are educated, have jobs, and are independent. But when it comes to finding a husband, they face big problems. Is there anyone willing to accept me and my mute mother if we move far away for marriage? I was adopted by my mom. Because she's mute and had to raise a child on her own, she never got married in her lifetime. Now that I've grown up, I work as a nurse at the county hospital. My job is relatively stable, but when I go on blind dates, the men always look down on my family background. Even though my mom is mute, she can still help take care of children and do some odd jobs. Is there anyone out there who would be willing to accept a family like ours? Uncle, Auntie, I want to ask, are women in your family allowed to sit at the table and eat? There are 7 sisters in my family. Because my mom couldn't give birth to a son, we were never valued since childhood. Our grandmother looked down on us for eating too much. After they finished eating, only then could we and our mother hide in the kitchen to eat a little. If women in your family are allowed to eat at the table, could you please send me your address? In-laws, what do you think of this daughter-in-law? She doesn't ask for a car or a house, and she even comes with her mother. Don't worry, I won't let the kids support me for nothing. I'll handle all the housework and I'll help take care of any future children too, so the young couple can focus on their work. My mom is hardworking and not picky. Simple food is enough for her as long as it fills her up. I just wonder if the father and mother-in-law have any objections. One reason is that many Chinese men do not want to marry older women. They prefer younger women, often in their 20s. Another reason is that the number of men and women is not equal anymore. Years ago, many families wanted sons instead of daughters, so now there are more men than women in China. But strangely, many of these men don't want to marry, or they are not seen as good enough by women. Some men don't have good jobs or homes, and women don't want to marry someone who cannot give them a good life.